Hello guys, Wamitila here, the godfather of price action. So today I'm going to teach you a strategy of which you can be able to make. This is $100, this is 13,000 Kenya shilling. So come with me as we go into this strategy. So guys, I'm going to teach you a simple strategy on how you can use your trend line to get entries. So come with me. So we only use trend line when your market is bullish and when your market is bearish. We only use trend line when your market is bullish and when your market is bearish. So for example here, if your market is moving a series of higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This top here is called higher high. And this bottom here is called higher low. So I'm going to teach you on how you can use your trend line to find entries. You must understand trend line is just an horizontal line like this, where the market must touch 1 point, second point. The third point, it must be touched in order for you to get an entry. We only draw trend line if we only draw a trend line if your market is on a bullish trend or in a bearish trend. So for example, if your market is on a bullish trend, something like this, you must draw your trend line in order to find a buy entry. Here, first, like this. So here in this example like this, you must wait for your trend to reach which point? This point for you to buy. So trend lines are here in this market to just support you in your buying area. For example, here you must wait for your market to reach to this, your third trend, then it shoot up. So let's go into the chart and see. For example, this is a chart on gold. As you can see, your market was moving on a bearish movement. So when your market is moving on a bearish movement, you must draw your trend line according to the trend of the market. So for example, here you wanted to find an entry. You can come, draw your trend line like this. You see, you can come, draw your trend line. And I repeated one thing in the last video. For example, you're in a bullish movement and your higher low hasn't been overtaken by the previous one. This market remains to be bullish. So long as your previous high low hasn't been overtaken, this market remains to be a bullish. And for example, you're moving a series of lower low, lower high. You're in a bearish movement, and your previous high has been overtaken by the recent one. This market remains to be bearish. So it's very simple. When you come here to the chart, if you want to look for an entry, you see here there was a chart, tap, tap, and a tap. So you see market is respecting our trend line. So if our market was here in this point, we can go in for sales. Here we can go in for sales, and our stop loss to the recent lower high. Then we are targeting our recent low, of which our recent low was this point. You see, this is just a trend. You see, you're going just with the trend. You draw your trend according to the trend of the market. If your market is bullish, draw it according to the market structure. For example, the market has closed today, but for example, here you want to look for selling opportunities. You can come here, just draw your trend like this, trend like this. So in this chart like this, you can come here, take in your sell, stop loss to the recent high, then take it your recent low. This is the simplest way on how you can draw your trend. For example, I can come here, add another example, I want an example that market is bullish, because we have already looked at a bearish market. For example, this Euro USD. I want to look for a market that is bullish. You see, for example, I can draw my trend like this. You see here your market was bullish. You see, trend line are drawn only if your market is on a bullish movement or if your market is on a bearish movement. For example, here there was a first touch, here there was a second touch, here the market came. You see, it respected what? It respected our trend line, and the market continued to buy. So this is just the simplest way of which you can make money in the market. Let me look for another example. Even for this, let me look. You can do anywhere. Let me look. I want to look for a perfect one. Can add another pair like GBP, USD, GBP, USD. I want a pair that. Let me add another one. USD, JPY. On something that will it can relate with your people. For example, this market here. No, this is not a perfect one. I'm just looking for a market that can favor. So I can go back to GBP USD, for example. Okay. First, we must identify the structure of the market. For example, this point here, your market was what? Your market was bearish. Here, your market was bearish. So what I need to do, it was to draw any point like this. You see, trend lines are always respected. You see the E, you just use this point, this one, and this one. The market what? Dumped. After that, the market reversed. So where the market is right now, you can draw another trend line like this. You see, the market has respected this point, this point, this point, this point, and this point. So this is the simplest way of which you can be able to make more money. If you want more information about this, my number is linked in the description. Make sure you come DM me on WhatsApp. You come win with me. I show you more into this strategy. So let's make money, and peace out. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be bringing more content daily, day in, day out. And peace out. Godfather price action. Yes, sir.